Okay students, so now you have studied about weather and elements of weather. Now you will study about climate. What is climate? Climate means climate of a particular area. You mainly listen that climate of a particular area is very hot and humid, somewhere it is very cold and chilled, somewhere it is moderate. So what is actually climate? Students, climate means that the average weather conditions, of a particular area over a long period of time. Okay, when a area's weather conditions like temperature, rainfall, humidity are calculated for a very long period of time, like say for 20-30 years, okay, then that is called climate of that particular place. And people who maintain the record of everyday weather, they are called meteorologists. Okay, so how maximum and minimum temperature is calculated of a particular area? See, when you calculate the average maximum temperature of any area, then it is the sum of daily maximum temperatures. जो रोज maximum temperature पहुंच रहा है एक एरिया का, आप उसका sum करते हैं, you sum it and you divide by number of days in the month, 30, 31 or 28. You calculate the average maximum temperature of that particular month. Likewise, you calculate for 12 months and then you calculate the average for 1 year. And then you calculate that for next say 5-10 years, and then you calculate the average temperature. What is the exact average temperature of that particular area? Similarly, you calculate the average minimum temperature. Whatever minimum temperature of a particular area is, you are knowing whatever minimum temperature, you are calculating it per day, and then you are dividing it by 30. So you will get the minimum temperature for next 1 month. Okay. Now students, next topic is the factors which is affecting the climate. There are several factors, like we cannot say that rainfall is constant for any area, humidity is constant for any area, temperature is constant. No, temperature भी shift होता रहता है, temperature keeps on shifting, humidity keeps on shifting. Okay, so what are the factors that affect the climate? First is distance from the equator. Equator means the exact center of the earth. So the areas which are related near the equator, okay, they will receive maximum sunlight. Areas which are near the equator, they will receive maximum sunlight, and hence they will be hot and humid. As the distance from the equator goes on decreasing, as it goes on decreasing, what happens? The climate, the temperature goes on decreasing, and the area becomes hot and area becomes cool, a little bit cool. Like for example, you take the example of Madhya Pradesh. It is close to the equator, so it is hot. You take the example of Kashmir, it is far away from the equator, that's why it is comparatively cooler than Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so the first factor is distance from the equator. Okay, the second factor which is affecting your climate is distance from the sea. The climate of the place is affected by distance from the sea. If any area, any country is located near the sea, coastal areas, they will definitely be having moderate climate, and the weather will be almost unchanged throughout the year. But if any country of it, any area is situated far away from the equator, then it will definitely have hotter summers and moderate winters. Okay. Third factor which affects the climate is humidity and rainfall. If any area is having high humidity, then definitely it will have very hot summers and moderate winters. And if any area is having lots and lots of rainfall, then what will happen? Definitely it will be a lot cooler. Okay, it will be a lot cooler. Last factor is altitude or height above the sea level. Okay, so as you go higher from the sea level, the temperature gradually comes down. You see snow-covered mountains. The mountains which are covered with snow, what happens? They are at a very high altitude. Why? At a very high altitude from the sea level, the temperature has gone down and the water has frozen. Okay, so mountains also receive a large amount of rainfall than low-lying areas, because at low temperature what happens? कम temperature पे क्या होता है? Water vapor condenses and comes down. Mountains are at a very high range, so what will happen? The water there will condense because the temperature is very low, and ultimately it will cause rainfall. So there are four factors that are responsible for affecting the climate of an area. First, distance from the equator. If any country, if any area is located near the equator, what will happen? It will be hot, and if it is far away from the equator, it will be comparatively cool. Second is distance from the sea. If it is near the sea, it will be a lot cooler. Third, humidity and rainfall. If any area is humid, definitely it will have hotter summers and moderate winters. And if any area is receiving lots and lots of rainfall, it will have cooler summers and more cooler winters. Last is height above the sea level. If the height above the sea level, as you go above the sea level, the temperature will come down. So that's why mountains receive lots and lots of rainfall, because at low temperature water condenses and comes down in form of rain. So when water comes down in form of rain, definitely mountains will have greater amount of rainfall than your low-lying areas which are near the sea level. Okay, students. So this was the first half of chapter 8, weather, climate and adaptation. The next half of the chapter will be studied next week. Okay, kindly go through both the videos properly and try to understand. Okay, thank you so much.